This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this February 11th. Another violent day in the Circle City Metro Police investigating multiple shootings, at least one deadly. We'll have the latest on the investigations, including reaction from city leaders about the recent uptick in violence.
This is serious to me. It's not conversation no more. Action has to happen.
Less words, more action. The announcement of a new proposal to curb some of the growing crime in Indianapolis leads to a very passionate and heated exchange of words.
Plus, February is Heart Health Month, and this morning we're talking to a woman who survived 2 strokes before the age of 30. Her message to others and the signs you should be on the lookout for. But first, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast. A much quieter morning than yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we dealt with all the rain showers moving in as people were driving, Todd, and right now things are dry, right?
Yeah, pretty much. There's the chance of a few flurries here and there this morning, as you see on Storm Team 6 radar. There's some returns, but a lot of this is not reaching the ground, and that's good news. And even if you did see a flurry or two, it's not going to be enough to cause any issues on the roadways. So it is going to be a pretty quiet commute unless you are traveling well to the south. If your travels take you south on Interstate 65, you are going to run into quite a bit of rainfall as you make your way into southern Indiana and then eventually down into Kentucky. But we're just on the northern fringe of this system moving through, and this will bypass us to the east. The best chance of seeing those flurries that I mentioned will be the further south you go from Indianapolis this morning. For those of you in Greensburg, Bedford, over towards Seymour and Bloomington, you'll have the chance of a few stray flurries this morning. Otherwise, we have no issues, especially as you work your way to the north. 32 right now in Indy, 34 in Bloomington, below freezing from Tipton to Peru. You definitely need to bundle up this morning as you get going on this Tuesday morning. Grab that extra cup of coffee. You may need it throughout the day. We actually have the best chance of seeing some sunshine later on this afternoon for us over the course of the next few days. And with that added sunshine potential, temperatures a little bit warmer today than they have been, as highs top off right around 40 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now at your Traffic Now map for your commute coming in on eastbound I-70 from the west side, starting here at Ronald Reagan Parkway, heading to the south split. It is a 12-minute drive, so that is traveling up to speed for you this morning. Let's take a look right now from our INDOT traffic camera across town. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 near Pendleton Pike. Pretty quiet out that way. We'll continue to monitor the roads for any crashes or delays.
Violence across the Circle City continues, and this morning Metro Police are investigating multiple shootings, at least one turning deadly. In Fountain Square, the city's latest homicide victim has been identified as 38-year-old Robert Buskirk. Police say he was found dead on Olive Street just after 9:30 yesterday morning. According to the coroner, he died of gunshot wounds. Right now, there is no word on any suspects.
And on the south side, police say a person was being chased when they were shot in a car. It happened around 8:30 last night on Thompson Road near Meridian. Police are looking for a silver or gray vehicle in connection with the shooting. The victim in that case is in serious condition.
And just hours ago on the city's west side, police say a 22-year-old man is in serious but stable condition after being shot. This all happened just after 11:30 in the 800 block of Cedarwood Court near 10th and Girls School Road. We're told the victim was approached by the suspect or suspects and tried to get away. That's when he was shot in the arm. He was able to run to a nearby strip mall and get help. Police are talking to witnesses and looking at surveillance video from a camera on the apartment building. We're told this victim is expected to be okay. And as always, if you have any information that could help police solve any of these crimes, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. You can remain anonymous and may be eligible for a cash reward.
It is 5:03 as the violence continues. Tensions are growing and hearts are hurting. Several people here showing up to a downtown press conference led by Councilor Brian Mowry to express their anger and frustration.
When the last time you've been out in the streets with us? When our people died? When the last time you've been out there?
Well, those community members say they're tired of the talk and they want action. James Wilson, the CEO of the nonprofit group Circle Up Indy, believes there's a lack of collaboration between local leaders and community organizers.
This is serious to me. It's not conversation no more. Action has to happen. If there's no action, there's no results. So many organizations in the city is working their off, and no disrespect, but they're working off to make things happen and for our families and our communities, yet and still to continue to push the way. If you're not in the right circles, you can't make it nowhere. We're beyond circles. This is serious.
Working for you, we asked Mayor Joe Hogsett to respond to that criticism.
There are commissions, committees, and panels awash. We don't need to create another one. We just need to continue to double down on the actions that are making a difference and to be sensitive to the fact that the community needs to be part of that solution.
The Public Safety Summit announced at the news conference will bring several anti-crime and faith-based groups together to discuss solutions to the ongoing violence. That is scheduled for next Monday.
Meanwhile, yesterday, IMPD Chief Randall Taylor and several officers shared coffee and conversation with the community. Chief Taylor also talked about a new initiative the department is rolling out. It's meant to encourage people to come forward with information about unsolved homicides, including last week's quadruple homicide and the alleged armed robbery that led to the death of a Subway employee.
We're going for building those relationships. We want to make sure that the community feels comfortable with speaking with us and sharing information that they have or concerns that they have. These officers here at this particular McDonald's work this North District, and they do a fantastic job of it. But we're always looking to build those relationships to make them as strong as they can be, because we're going to have to rely on each other.
Chief Taylor says there are people with information about unsolved crimes, and he hopes IMPD can get more of them to speak with officers.
It is 5:06 in February as American Heart Month, and RTV6 is partnering with the Go Red for Women campaign, sponsored by the American Heart Association. This month, we're highlighting women who have overcome health obstacles and are now living heart-healthy lifestyles. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with the story of a woman who's being nationally recognized for the Go Red for Women campaign. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So Nicole Murray has had 2 strokes before her 30th birthday, and it's been 5 years since those 2 strokes happened, but she says she's still in recovery every single day. Murray is one of 9 women chosen across the country to be a spokesperson for the Go Red for Women campaign. Last week, she was flown to New York City, where she was pampered with new clothes, hair, makeup, and a photo shoot, and most importantly, the opportunity to tell her story. She says she wants to use this platform to inform anyone who will listen about the importance of understanding your body and your family history.
It's important to know the risk factors. You want to make sure you check your blood pressure. You want to make sure that you see your doctor and you talk about the risk for cardiovascular disease and strokes. You want to make sure that your family history doesn't put you at risk as well.
Since Murray had her strokes, she says 3 more people in her family have had one. Now, she says it's important to know the warning signs of a stroke, and those are face droopiness, arm weakness, and slurred speech. And even if you don't think this could happen to you, she says it's important to have a plan, because she didn't think it could happen to her. More about her story coming up in the next half hour. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
An important message. Thank you, Kelsey. Veteran racer John Andretti may be gone, but his message to check it for Andretti will live on. Andretti Autosport, headed by his cousin Michael Andretti, announced on Twitter that all Andretti cars will carry the hashtag Check It For Andretti all season long. It's an effort to honor and spread the word about colon cancer, as John did. John started the campaign after he was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2017. He died January 30th.
Well, Target is hiring Hoosiers. The retailer is looking to fill positions for its new store in West Lafayette. The company needs to hire 65 people for its new small format store that will open on State Street on April 5th. A hiring event will be held today at Young Hall on the Purdue University campus from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. You're encouraged to apply online at target.com/careers ahead of time. Here at 5:09 on our Tuesday, let's check in with Todd and see what we can expect as we head out today.
You know, as you walk out the door this morning, it's chilly. You definitely need to have the jacket, but that's going to be the case for most days, right, during the month. month of February. What you don't need today is all that rain gear that you did need yesterday. There could be a flurry or two this morning, but ultimately you're just walking out to a lot of clouds and temperatures this morning that are going to be hovering right around 32 degrees during the course of your morning commute. Now, when you look at radar, you see all this white and you see snow and you think, oh, there's going to be a lot of snow across the area. It's not reaching the ground. There could be a few flurries as you work your way to the south, a little closer to the main area of low pressure that is moving off towards the east. So locations in southern Indiana, don't be shocked if you see a few flurries and or a quick snow shower, but most of us remain completely dry with highs today that will get up to just above normal for this time of year. So it's not a bad day for us. 41 in Greenwood, 43 degrees today in Columbus, a little cooler to the north. Tomorrow, a bigger storm system does impact the area. We'll talk about the details with that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The first results are in from New Hampshire's primary, and there's a surprise leader. We'll tell you who's coming out on top so far.
And the death toll from the coronavirus has topped 1,000. Coming up, details on the latest figures and why health officials outside of China say the numbers aren't as concerning as they seem.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:13 on your Tuesday, and here is a live look right now at your commute on the northwest side up in the Dogleg, I-465 and I-865. No issues here to slow down your commute.
The first results are in from the New Hampshire primary after residents of 3 tiny townships cast votes.
In a surprising twist, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg got 2 votes as a write-in candidate. He isn't on the ballot in New Hampshire. Another surprise, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar winning the most early votes with 8. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren each had 4 votes. Andrew Yang got 3, and Pete Buttigieg and former Vice President Joe Biden each had 2. Unlike the chaotic and delayed results at last week's Iowa caucus, ballots cast in the 3 small towns were counted by hand without any technical glitches.
Roger Stone could spend the next 9 years in prison. The one-time informal advisor to President Trump is scheduled for sentencing next week. In November, he was convicted on 7 charges related to Russia's interference in the 2016 election. They involve lying under oath, obstructing Congress, and tampering with a witness. Prosecutors are recommending a 7 to 9 year sentence based on federal sentencing guidelines. Stone was the 6th Trump aide or advisor to be convicted of charges brought as part of a special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation.
New this morning, more than 100 U.S. troops have been diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries in connection to the Iran missile attack in Iraq. That's more than 50% jump in cases. The Pentagon and White House initially said no service members were injured or killed in the attack, which was a retaliation for the U.S. drone strike that killed a top Iranian general. 76 of the injured soldiers have returned to duty. The Defense Department says it will continue to provide updates that as soon as they become available.
Also new this morning, an evacuee from China has tested positive for the coronavirus. The CDC says that person was on the first evacuation flight from Wuhan to San Diego. The case is the 13th confirmed case of coronavirus in the U.S. and the 7th in California. Meanwhile, dozens of new cases were confirmed Monday on a quarantine cruise ship in Japan. 135 people, including 23 Americans, have tested positive for the virus. The Chinese Ministry of Health says the death toll from the outbreak has topped 1,000. Now, despite the numbers, health officials say 80% of cases are mild, about 15% require hospitalization, and roughly 3 to 5% of people will need intensive care.
Today marks 30 years since Nelson Mandela was released from prison. The prisoner turned president was the leader of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. He spent 27 years in prison for fighting against the country's system of racial segregation. While he was incarcerated, he earned a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of London. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993, and the following year became South Africa's first black president. Mandela died December 2013 at the age of 95.
A K-9 officer in Arizona received a hero's goodbye. Bruno joined the Oro Valley Police Department in 2013, serving for 7 years. Trained in narcotics detection, Bruno helped seize more than $1 million in drugs during his career. Earlier this month, his handler, Officer Roger Reynolds, gave him a sweet send-off to thank him for his service.
This transmission is for K-9 Bruno. He has just finished his last shift on duty and is now headed for retirement. Thank you for your 7 years of service. You can now chase rabbits instead of bad guys. Office at the department will miss you.
From the looks of it, Bruno seems to already be enjoying his retirement. We just love that story so much. We showed it to you yesterday and today again.
Really cutie in that
really
ice cream
nothing
sandwich.
Better than a dog eating an ice cream sandwich, right, Todd? Other than maybe us having like 70 degrees and sunshine.
Yeah, that would be nice too, wouldn't it? Maybe a little bit of sunshine here, but I can guarantee we will not get to 70 degrees today, as we'll top off only in the low 40s, but that will be actually a little bit above normal. You look at Storm Team 6 radar, I said, oh no, here we go again, a snowy morning commute. Not the case. A lot of this, especially to the north, is not reaching the ground. To the south here, there will be the potential for maybe a few flurries for your morning commute, and that is just about it, as we're just on the northern fringe of this storm system that is scooting by to our south. So if your travels do take you, though, into Kentucky this morning, down I-65 or even I-74 through Cincinnati into portions of northern Kentucky, you're going to be running into a lot of rainfall. But here again, a few flurries possible this morning, and that is just about it. But this weather pattern remains very active. We dealt with the storm system yesterday. We just missed out on this one. But this one will get us tomorrow, bringing more rain and even some snow and freezing rain into the equation for your Wednesday afternoon and evening. Live look from IMS, and you can see the city skyline this morning. That's always good news. We don't have the rain like yesterday and the low overcast sky. The temperature sits at 32 degrees with just a wind out of the north-northwest right now at 5 miles per hour, and temperatures all across the area are sitting in the 30s and 40s, or 30s and 20s rather. There's 129 sneaking in there in Crawfordsville. 34 is currently the temperature in Bloomington, as well as Muncie. 32 in Greenfield. And as we work our way throughout the day today, our temperatures will climb just slightly above normal, and throughout the afternoon hours, the clouds will thin at times for a little bit of sunshine. We're not going to see a ton in the way of sunshine today, and if you do see it, take advantage of it because the clouds will fill back in pretty quickly across the area. But nonetheless, it's not a terrible February day for us. Fast forward to tomorrow, and once we get to the afternoon hours tomorrow, you see all this rain and snow that'll make its way into the area. Your morning commute tomorrow is just fine. Your evening commute, though, could potentially be a little slick in spots as we bring a rain-snow mixture into the equation. Once again, this is going to be one of those storms where we probably start off with a little bit of snow, and as the warmer air comes in, the rain will start to move to the north. In between, there's probably a thin line of some freezing rain, although some miles want to bring the warmer air in, and what you're seeing on snow on this model will be more in the way of rain. So it's going to be a very, very close call as far as the potential for some accumulating snow tomorrow evening into early Thursday, or just rain in southern locations where it stays snow. Potentially, we are looking at maybe a couple inches before the changeover to rain, and then another burst of some snow showers Thursday as the colder air comes in. And speaking of cold, look at your Valentine's Day forecast. Starting off in the single digits with a high in the afternoon, Lauren, of only 21 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic to our west. I-70 here a little east of State Road 267. Everything is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. No delays to slow you down. So let's take a look north of there. This is your northwest side commute heading in on southbound I-65 from State Road 267 to the I-70 ramps here at the North Split. It's a 21-minute drive, so no delays to slow you down there. No crashes as well. Taking you out to the east side right now, give you a look at I-70 here in Post Road from our INDOT traffic camera. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads as you're heading out the door this Tuesday.
Millions of Americans had their personal information compromised in 2017 when credit reporting agency Equifax was hacked. And this morning, we now know who was behind the attack. According to a federal indictment that was unsealed Monday, 4 members of the Chinese military allegedly identified a flaw in the agency's security system. They were then able to gain access to the names, birth dates, and social security numbers of nearly 150 million Americans. That makes it the largest case of state-sponsored theft in U.S. history. The FBI now has 1,000 open investigations into suspected Chinese economic espionage and technology theft.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and this year spending is expected to once again reach unprecedented levels. According to the National Retail Federation, the average person will spend a little over $196 on their sweetheart. I know it seems kind of high. Well, millennials are expected to spend the most, of course, an average of $208. Gen Xers plan to spend $160, and baby boomers plan to spend just around $100. That's a record-breaking total of $27 $7.4 billion. Most people are expected to spend their money on classic gifts like cards, candy, flowers, and jewelry. Guess it's good for the economy.
Oh, look at this vintage Valentine's video.
I like that. I think a nice handwritten card is just about all you need.
Yes.
All right, well, a deli owner in New York is going viral for his creative way to help feed people in his community. Coming up, see the viral sensation in action.
And ahead on Good Morning Indiana, new details involving the Decatur Township School at the target of a health investigation after teachers raised serious health concerns. Our Rafael Sanchez is digging deeper into the issue and finding out what's next for the school. We'll be right back.
Grill, Marshall's, your surprise is waiting.
A deli in the Bronx is offering free stuff to customers who can solve simple math problems. Ahmed Alwan's dad owns the store. He started posting videos of himself asking customers simple math questions. If they get it right, they have 5 seconds to pick out anything they want from the store, and Ahmed will pay for it out of his own pocket. Here's just one of the videos that has gone viral.
OT, if you get this question right, you have 5 seconds to pick up whatever you want. All right. 10 times 10 minus 50. 50. 5, 4, not my cat. 3, 2, 2 1/4.
Takes the whole rack. Ahmed says he wants to help low-income community members save for higher priority expenses like rent and utilities. You know what I would do? I would say, I want all the lottery tickets behind you.
Yeah, a lottery ticket.
Because then you up your chances of, I don't need all those packages of nuts or whatever. Yeah, I would say, give me all those lottery tickets right there. That's what I would choose. What would you choose, Todd?
I'd probably
jerky.
No, not jerky, but I'd probably go for like some chips or something that were pretty close there.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever's first in the line of sight.
Or if it's a store you know really well, you could go for some, like milk or something if you can get there quick enough.
Yeah. All right. What's the weather like today?
Not bad today. Temperatures will be pretty seasonable for this time of year, getting up into the 30s and 40s. 41 in Indianapolis, 42 in Bloomington. Skies will be mostly cloudy today with a few peaks of sunshine from time to time. More rain and snow in the forecast over tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up in the next half hour.
Series premiere tonight on ABC. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
This morning, new details involving the Decatur Township School at the target of a health investigation after teachers raised some serious health concerns. We'll tell you what's next for that school.
In February is Heart Health Month, and we're talking to one woman who survived 2 strokes all before the age of 30. Her message to others and the warning signs you should be on the lookout for. But first, here at 5:30, we're going to take a look at the weather. Quite a different scene than we saw 24 hours ago.
That's right. This camera, yesterday, we had all those clouds from the rain that was coming through, Todd. So clearer sight out there and much more calm right now.
Yeah, very quiet this morning. There's a few locations, especially to the south, that may see a flurry or two this morning, but really nothing of consequence. So you can kind of tuck the umbrella away for just one day. Don't put it too far away. That's a little hint, unfortunately, for what's coming our way tomorrow. And I didn't check the sunglasses, although I do think there will be some peaks of sunshine today. It's not going to be for a very prolonged period of time. So you could have the sunglasses in the car if you want today, but you definitely need to have the jacket, and your outdoor workout is good to go. Now, Storm Team 6 radar is showing a few returns of some snow, and this would be a flurry or two. A lot of this is not reaching the ground, but what we have going on is a pretty good storm system that's moving through Kentucky. So if your travels do take you out of Indiana into Kentucky, you're going to be running into a lot of this rainfall, though it's moving off towards the east pretty quickly, which is good news. But closer to home, temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, a little below in some locations, a little above as you work your way down to the south. And eventually this afternoon, with some sunshine mixing in, we'll see our high temperatures get back up to right around 40 degrees. That is seasonable for this time of year. We'll talk about the storm system that returns tomorrow with rain and snow coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here is a look right now at traffic for your commute. We're taking a look up here on the north side. This is I-465 at Michigan Road. Lots of headlights. Traffic is pretty heavy this morning, both eastbound and westbound. You can see we do have a stalled vehicle on the side of the road, but it's not really slowing down traffic too much because it's in the shoulder, so that is good news. Let's take a look at your drive times on the west side on I-74 heading eastbound from State Road 267 to the I-465 ramps. It's traveling up to speed, a 7-minute commute for you. And then on the near east side. A live look from our INDOT traffic camera at I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. You can see some headlights there moving across your screen. Traffic's picking up here at this hour. We'll continue to monitor any crashes or delays.
New details involving an Indianapolis school being investigated over serious health concerns. An environmental company will begin its work at the Blue and Gold Academies on Man Road tomorrow. The Decatur Township school system hired PH2 LLC to determine if the Academy's school building is contributing to serious health issues. Since 2018, 4 teachers have reportedly been diagnosed with head-related tumors. The most recent cases were in August and September of 2019 and January of this year. The January case is what prompted the district to hire a company to investigate. The school district says that the company would conduct testing inside and outside of the building. The Decatur school superintendent says the investigation is set to take place over several months.
The former owner of a beloved Greenwood business has pleaded guilty to child pornography charges. John Casson was removed as the owner of the ice cream shop Mrs. Curl last May after police arrested him back in April. Investigators say he used his home computer to look up explicit images of kids. The prosecutor's office asked for prison time in the case. Instead, the judge sentenced Casson to probation and required him to register as a sex offender for life.
The Northwest Hendricks School Corporation says it cannot terminate a teacher accused of sexual misconduct with a student, at least not yet. Last month, Hendricks County prosecutors charged Tri-West High School teacher Tyler Bruce with child seduction. He's currently on unpaid suspension. The school board meets tonight at 6:30 p.m., but Bruce will not be terminated by the board quite yet. The district spokeswoman says although the district is taking steps to fire Bruce, he has chosen to exercise his right to due process and requested a meeting with the superintendent. Citizens are also expected to ask for the entire board's resignation at the meeting because of how they handled the Tyler Bruce matter, including allowing Bruce to receive pay for the 7 months while he was on administrative leave. That meeting is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. at the Tri-West Middle School.
As the school year continues, Indiana State Police are continuing to hold school districts accountable for bus safety. Several local districts have already been put to the test. Troopers spent the last 3 days inspecting 139 buses in Washington Township. They inspect tires, brake lines, and emergency lights and exits. This year, 96% of the Washington Township buses passed the inspection. 2 buses were placed out of service, one for rust, the other due to a brake issue. Wayne Township Schools was inspected last month and scored a 100% passing rate. Pike Township Schools pulled a 98, and Lawrence Township buses passed with 99%.
These yellow vehicles are the safest method of ground transportation on the planet. And parents should feel safe knowing that their students are on that type of vehicle. And here at Washington Township, we're no different. We make sure that everything is as safe as it possibly can be, so your kids have the safest ride to school possible.
You can see for yourself how your child's school bus did on the state exam at the State Police Bus Inspection website. All you got to do is know the name of your child's school district and their bus number, and we have a link to show you how to find those results right now on our website, theindychannel.com.
Indianapolis-based Simon Property Group is making a $3.6 billion purchase. The company announced plans to buy Taubman Realty Group, which is headquartered in Detroit. Taubman owns 24 shopping centers across the U.S. According to the announcement, Taubman will continue to be managed by its executive team. Simon is the nation's largest mall operator with hundreds of properties. There is a new tool available for the 1 in 5 Indianapolis residents who struggle with food insecurity. To help, the Office of Public Health and Safety unveiled a new app called Community Compass. It can be used to find things like food pantries, hot meal sites, and stores that accept SNAP and WIC. Members of the group Circles, which works directly with people living in poverty, helped develop the app.
I was so pleased that my circle leaders were welcomed to the process from the very beginning. They were listened to and they were seen as the experts in the room. Likewise, they were a part of a focus group that utilized the app, brought back feedback, and suggested changes to make it more usable to the target demographic.
Now, if you don't have a smartphone, you can still get information provided by Community Compass by calling or texting 317-434-3758. Here at 5:37, we want to let you know that February is American Heart Month, and RTV6 is partnering with the Go Red for Women campaign, sponsored by the American Heart Association.
And this month, we're highlighting women who have overcome health obstacles and are now living heart-healthy lifestyles. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with the story of a woman who survived not one but 2 strokes before her 30th birthday. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So yeah, it's been 5 years since Nicole Murray had her last stroke, but she says every day since then she's been on recovery and getting back to a healthy lifestyle. Now, this year, her recovery is being nationally recognized by the Go Red for Women campaign.
I was 29. And that's when I had my first stroke.
Nicole Murray says she had been feeling sick for about a week. And as she was getting ready for work, she realized her mouth was numb and she couldn't talk.
I was just alone at home and I didn't know what to do. So I just called my mom, but I just cried. That's all I could do, and she knew something was wrong, so she came to get me.
She says at the hospital, doctors said she was too young to have a stroke, but an MRI confirmed that's exactly what it was.
My recovery started with speech therapy, and I had to relearn how to talk. Going through therapy, within the first 3 months, my speech therapist said, hey, we think you're probably good, but you're going backwards. You're not getting better, you're getting worse.
An MRI once again confirmed Murray had a second stroke within 3 months of her first. She says the road to a full recovery is a long one.
I'm still in recovery. It's been 5 years since I've had my strokes. Every day is a process. Every day is a struggle, but every day is also a success because here I am, I'm still working through it.
This year, Murray is being recognized nationally.
I was selected to be one of the 9 ladies for the national campaign, Go Red for Women, along with the American Heart Association.
Last week, she went to New York where she was pampered with hair, makeup, new clothes, and the ability to talk about her journey.
It's an honor. It really is. To be able to tell my story so that somebody will know what to do in the event that maybe they have a stroke or maybe they have a heart attack.
She says the message she wants to send to anyone recovering from a stroke is this.
You might go through some things. It might be a struggle, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Murray says it's important to know the warning signs of a stroke, and she says you can use the acronym FAST to remember it. So that's face droopiness, arm weakness, slurred speech, and that means it's time to call 911. She also says you may not think it's going to happen to you, but it's important to have a plan because she says the day she had her stroke, she didn't have a plan. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you so much. The time right now is 5:40, and we have an exciting announcement for a former Indiana Fever star, Tamika Catchings. She's been selected for the 2020 class of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Catchings played 15 seasons with the Fever and now serves as the team's general manager. She's also the winner of the 2011 WNBA MVP Awards and has 4 Olympic gold medals. The induction will be held June 13th in Knoxville, Tennessee. She's also nominated to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Those finalists will be named this weekend. At 5:41, let's get a check of your bus stop forecast as the kids are heading out there, Todd.
Yeah, as they head out this morning, they do not need to have the umbrella. That is the good news. Just need to bundle up a little bit. Normally, as you would here in February, it's nothing extreme this morning as the temperatures are hovering right around 31 degrees with skies that'll be mostly cloudy as the kids come home from school. A little bit of sunshine out there and temperatures climbing up into the low 40s. So it'll be a decent day for us by the middle of February standards, and you need to enjoy today because it's a brief break from storm systems moving through central Indiana. We had the one yesterday with all the rain, and it really started on Sunday in the afternoon hours. This one is just bypassing us to the south. There's a few flurries this morning in southern Indiana. That is just about it, but this one will bring us a lot in the way of rain and even some snow going forward in this forecast for tomorrow. So rain chances or precipitation chances, because it's a mix of rain and snow, will be very high as we go throughout the day tomorrow, and then even Thursday they linger. The good news is your Valentine's Day looks to be dry across the area. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Voting is underway in the New Hampshire primary. Coming up, the surprises already coming from the early results.
And Southwest Airlines is rolling out new safety guidelines on their flights. Still ahead, the new instructions they have for passengers. It's 5:42. We'll be right back.
LGens XR.
In the race for the White House today, the polls are opening in New Hampshire. Senator Bernie Sanders comes in as the favorite in the country's first primary, which he won in 2016, while other candidates are fighting to hang on. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest from Manchester, New Hampshire.
The first votes have been cast in New Hampshire, and already some surprises. Senator Amy Klobuchar leading after 3 tiny townships, but in Dixville Notch, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg won for both Democrats and Republicans, even though he's not even on the ballot. Also overnight, Bernie Sanders holding a rock concert rally. The Vermont senator won New Hampshire handily in 2016, and it could be a repeat victory today.
If we win here tomorrow, I think we got a path to victory for the Democratic nomination.
Sanders finds himself atop the race in New Hampshire and, according to a new Quinnipiac poll, across the entire country. But Mayor Pete Buttigieg, with rising numbers of his own, trying to position himself as the sensible alternative.
There is a hole in Senator Sanders' plan financially that's bigger than the entire size of the United States economy. I think it's an example of the kind of politics that frustrates people. Big promises and not a lot behind it.
Outside that top tier of 2, some candidates fighting falling numbers. Senator Elizabeth Warren has been crisscrossing the state, as has former Vice President Joe Biden, though he's trying to look past New Hampshire.
Stick with me 24 more hours, and I promise you we're going to do just fine.
Some of their momentum has shifted to Amy Klobuchar.
As you've probably heard, we're on a bit of a surge.
And a reminder, New Hampshire is a much more typical secret ballot primary. It's a lot easier to administer than the Iowa caucuses. Officials here are banking on cleaner results, and we could have the first declared state victor in the race tonight. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
At 5:47, 2 police officers are recovering after they were shot inside of an Arkansas Walmart. Authorities say the man inside the Forest City store was making threats to blow up the Walmart when police were called yesterday afternoon. When officers approached, the man began shooting. One officer was taken to the hospital and later released. The other was airlifted to a hospital in Memphis. The suspect, a 40-year-old man, was shot and killed during the firefight with officers. State police are still investigating that man's motive.
Visitors at an amusement park in Chile got stuck in one of the attractions after a power outage. Riders on a swing ride were suspended more than 200 feet in the air when the ride suddenly stopped. They were stuck for at least 15 minutes. The amusement park reported that the problem was caused by a short power cut while they activated the generators. Here at 5:48, let's take a look at what the weather is like here in central Indiana. Probably not as nice as it is in South America today, Todd.
Yeah, you know, get into that southern hemisphere and, you know, you got the warm weather. You have to head south. Outside right now, it's not terrible by February standards. We're in the 30s anywhere you go, with the exception of Crawfordsville at 29 degrees, 32 in Indianapolis, 34 in Bloomington. These overnight lows are actually a little bit above normal, and high temperatures this afternoon will be slightly above normal as well. The normal high this time of year is 39 degrees. Today we're going up to right around 40 to 41 degrees, and today is going to essentially be a dry day. There's a few flurries, which I'll show you on radar in just a second, in southern locations, but overall there's really nothing to worry about, and today's a day to take advantage of being in between storm systems for us. If you have plans tonight, temperatures fall back down into the 30s, but it will still be dry. That's the good news. And when you look at radar, you see a lot of white, which represents snow. A lot of this is feedback not reaching the ground in northern locations. Once you get to southern locales here over towards Bedford and Seymour, there will be the potential of a few snow showers and or flurries this morning. Should not cause any issues on the roadways. Get south of the Ohio River into Kentucky. That's where most of the precipitation is, and it's in the form of rain. So that is good news if the travel plans take you in that direction. Here is our storm system for tomorrow. This one is going to impact us, and it's going to be very similar to the ones that we have seen so far this week, in the sense that we're going to be dealing with some snow for some of you. Some of you probably don't even see a flake, and it's all rain. And then some of you are kind of in the transition borderline between the snow and also the rain, and maybe even a little freezing rain. Your morning commute tomorrow is just fine. Nothing really to worry about. All the precipitation ramps up as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. So tomorrow evening is the commute that you need to give yourself some extra time, no matter what kind of precipitation we're seeing. Even if you're seeing rain, you have to give yourself the extra time. But it's going to come come in anytime after 3 o'clock from south to north. You notice snow initially, and then a quick changeover with a thin band of mixed precipitation to plain old rain. So Bloomington, Seymour, Greensburg, this is mainly a rain event for you throughout the day tomorrow. For those of you to the north, it starts off as a snow event, and then it goes over to rain as the warmer temperatures continue to work its way in, and then only for the colder air to come back in early Thursday morning to give us a little bit of accumulating snow. So there's going to be a very, very sharp cutoff here with snowfall totals, and this map will likely change. It's going to be one of those storm systems that's going to change probably hour by hour as new computer runs come in. But essentially 1 to 3 inches of snow from Indianapolis to the north, with those 3-inch totals being the further north you are. But look how sharply it cuts off as you work your way to the south, where you get less than an inch of snow from Bloomington over towards Columbus. And keep in mind, once we transition over to rain, a lot of that snow, if it does fall in your neighborhood, is going to turn into that slush like we saw on Sunday. So it's going to be hard to measure final snowfall totals. But Wednesday evening shaping up to be sloppy no matter how you look at it. Thursday, some snow showers with additional accumulation. And then Valentine's Day, it is quiet, it's sunny, which is good news, but it is cold with a high temperature of only 21 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are planning out your commute on this Tuesday. It's pretty quiet right now, heading southbound on I-69 through Hamilton County. Starting off here at State Road 13, heading to the I-465 ramps. It is traveling up to speed at a quick 13-minute drive. Taking a live look right now on the north side, still have a stalled vehicle there over the shoulder, but traffic's moving along okay. Both eastbound and westbound here on I-465 at Michigan Road. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads as you're heading out there this morning.
When you get on a plane, either a video or a speech from a flight attendant on safety is expected. But if you've flown Southwest recently, you may have noticed some new instructions. A few weeks ago, the airline added an explanation on how to report unwanted behavior to its pre-flight safety demonstration. It's meant to make passengers feel comfortable telling flight attendants about any incidents. Customers in violation can either be reseated or escorted off the plane when it lands.
The Connors sitcom is back tonight with an all-new episode with a twist. After the break, how the show is making history with tonight's live performance. It's 5:52. We'll be right back.
And only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
We've told you all morning how the New Hampshire primary is underway this morning.
Tonight, a popular ABC sitcom will attempt to incorporate the primary results into the show.
Yeah.
The Connors will make history when cast members perform an episode live on both coasts, but also responding in real time to the New Hampshire primary results. Sarah Gilbert, who plays Darlene and is one of the show's executive producers, says the show has never been extremely political, but doesn't avoid reality. You can watch the Connors tonight at 8 right here on RTV6. Good luck to them. I'll be interested.
I wish they did that for Iowa.
To see how that goes.
That would have been so funny. And been like, yeah. Hopefully it goes better tonight, I guess, for their sake. All right, Todd, what can we expect in the forecast for this Tuesday?
You know, despite looking at Storm Team 6 radar right now and seeing a lot of white on it, we're not dealing with much in the way of precipitation this morning. There could be a few flurries out there, and that is just about it. With temperatures that are hovering right around the freezing mark, just above in Bloomington and Muncie, right at freezing in Indianapolis. Essentially, it's a decent February day for us, mostly cloudy skies. There will be a little bit of sunshine that works its way in at times throughout the day today, with a high temperature of 41, which is actually just a few degrees above normal. Take advantage of being outside today, because tomorrow another storm system heads our way with rain and snow. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:57. Stay with us. We'll be right back.